Missouri at Alabama. Looks like Bama laying 27.5 at home, so got to win by 4 touchdowns. We've seen it the last couple weeks. Lafayette and Arkansas slipping in the back door. That's usually a sign that Alabama's a little pricey, a little expensive to bet Alabama going forward. It's going to be tough to make money with them. However, it can be done. 73.5 the total. I personally like the total here, like the over. I believe the numbers are Tua has 25 incompletions, 18 touchdowns. That's pretty crazy number when we're talking halfway through the season. I don't see a lot of stops from Missouri's side. I think they're able to pump it in a couple times too into the end zone. I like the over here of 73.5. Asher, you want to have it this one? How are you looking to bet Missouri and Alabama?
Yeah, I'm going to take the over as well, but I'm also going to take Missouri to cover way too many points. And I know a lot of people are going to say Alabama is way too good, but let's just be clear about something. There's night and day here with Alabama, first half, second half, because as you mentioned, a lot of backdoor action has been going on with Alabama because, quite frankly, Nick Saban's not playing for us. He's playing for a national championship, and we've seen the relaxation go on in the second half. Alabama in the first half has outscored their opponents this year 245-34. Second half, 94-62. All of it going down in the second half. There's just not the offensive production. They're not putting it in. Also, Missouri, a very underrated team that can put points on the board. I didn't even realize it until I checked. 29 is what they put up 39 points a game. They give up 29. I think that this is a very interesting matchup that I think Missouri can hang for a while, but then later on Alabama will pull away. But it's just too big of a number. I got to take Missouri in the points.
Big man, what about you? How are you looking to bet the Tigers and
the Tide? He touched on the first half. I mean, it's quite amazing what Alabama's not only done in the first half, but in the first quarter. I mean, Alabama scored 124 points in the first quarter. There's 26 teams in the country that haven't even scored that in the entire year. I mean, It's amazing how good this offense is. You look at the offensive efficiency stat, Drew. It was created 14 years ago. Alabama has the highest offensive efficiency in the history of the stat at 98.8%. This offense is just, I got to be honest, I think we often have to consider it maybe the best offense we've ever seen at this level. It's quite amazing. I mean, you look at Villanova last year in college basketball, they were unbelievably efficient. We're starting to see similar numbers with Alabama. It's amazing how dominating this group has been. Look, I know one thing about Missouri. They score points. I'm not looking to bet this game under the number. The only thing you get concerned about, Nick Saban was very adamant in calling his team out for their defensive performances lately. This is a team in Missouri that has over 530 yards a game. Asher mentioned the 39 points a game. But here's my problem with Drew Lock. It seems like whenever Drew Lock faces a quality opponent, he struggles. I need at some point for him to kind of get going. You look at the wins for them. Wyoming is awful. Purdue can't stop you, me, Asher, and 7 listeners or 8 listeners, whatever it be. I don't have a lot of confidence that Drew Lock can hang in this game. Alabama's a different level. They've scored 50 or more 5 times, guys, and 60 or more twice against 2 SEC opponents. What are they going to do to Missouri? I think the only way I can play this is over the number. I think it's like a 54. 27 type of game, 54-21, something like that. I'm going to go over 73.
Big man, you bring up a couple interesting points there. And I thought about this as well because I already bet the over. And is Missouri going to be able to score touchdowns? And you brought up the fact they struggled against better competition, but they played decently against Georgia, no?
They did. And again, it's kind of the point of they only had 221 yards through the air, which is kind of off for them. You look at against both South Carolina and Georgia, the passing offense wasn't particularly great. I do think, though, they'll have the opportunity. We've seen what Alabama does. They really score and just go and hide, basically. But they're up by so many points, it never really matters. I think you could see some garbage points here from Missouri. They're going to be a team that's going to stay on the front foot. They are 14th in the country in passing offense, so they're going to keep going no matter what. Kind of like the way I think TCU will be tonight. Texas Tech will probably have plenty of options to score points late, and that's why this total is just too low for me. But, I think Missouri will have some success late in the game, but it's hard to trust Drew Lock. He just doesn't seem to play well against top-tier opponents.
Yeah, and big man, you bring up a good point about talking about Drew Lock. In fact, that's why I think Missouri this year has been putting more of an emphasis on the running game. They're getting 5.1 yards a pop on the ground. Also, by the way, when they took on South Carolina, a very good running team, they held them to 2.7 yards a carry in that game. Here's one other little nugget. Do it what you will. Missouri has actually only allowed 87 first downs this year. That's 20th nationally. Alabama, they like to get chunk yards. It's going to be very interesting. I think the underrated defense of Missouri, as well as their ground attack, is going overlooked because we're so heavy on lock in Alabama. I think there's some hidden elements here that actually help Missouri out quite a bit.
And for anyone that wants to say, well, Asher, Alabama could stop the run, not really, not this year. Very, very odd for them. They're 49th in the country in run defense. They're basically average. That's what they are. They're giving up over 4 yards a carry. They haven't been great against the run. So I think Missouri will find their swag here a little bit. Do I think they can win this game? Of course not. But I'm willing to think they can score some points. And for that, I feel like the over is going to be the play here.
And big man, you can't keep running on Alabama when you're down by 20 in the second half. Just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
That's part of the equation. When we talk garbage points like we have, that becomes part of the handicap. You can't just kind of shrug it off of losing if you bet this under, like, Missouri, put in a couple touchdowns at the end. That has to be part of your handicap, right, big man?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, of course I think every time you bet an Alabama game, you have to kind of keep, because it's happened. I mean, look at UL Lafayette are an awful football team. They're not even on the same space system that the Alabama is, and they were able to put some points of play. I think we do have to understand as well, and I'm sure Asher obviously knows this. This Missouri team are just dreadful on defense. I mean, this team can't stop anybody. Purdue was able to move the ball at will. A lot of teams can move the ball. I'd be quite surprised if Alabama doesn't hit 55. That's just what they do.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.